Building your own home in the country is one of the big dreams for many of us. Welcome to the Home Building and Renovating Show at the NEC in Birmingham. I'm here to explore the world of self-building in the country, and I've been told that shows like these are an invaluable resource for anyone looking into building their own home. So, what better place to start? Coming up, we'll be looking at how to find an architect. So you found your plot, and now it's time to think about the type and design of the house you're going to create. The chances are you're going to need an architect.
If you're thinking about using an architect, first and foremost, do make sure that they're actually registered with us. Check on the website or ring us up, because it's a criminal offence in the UK to use the title architect if you're not registered with ARB.
An architect will design your house and help you choose the type of materials to be used. They can also manage the whole project, but remember, it'll affect the cost. If I was thinking about having a home build on my little plot in the countryside, how much would an architect cost, and what sort of person would I need?
It does vary, because it depends on the size of the job, where you are, and how much of a service you want from architects. As we said, architects will take you all through the process, or they can just do partial service and get you through planning and building regulations. So it depends on how much you want them to do, how valuable you think their service is, and also whereabouts it is, how complex the build is. But if you want the bottom line, which I can tell you're asking me for, I would say on average, if you want the full service, so that's planning, building regs, tender package, managing on site, defects and everything, you'd probably be paying somewhere between 7 to about 9%, depending on the size of the project.
And you're going to tell me that's money well spent?
I am. For most people, I wouldn't say everyone has to use an architect. There are some people that perhaps are better off without one, but I think most people, if they use us, we will pay for ourselves.
It's at the design stage that another important factor comes in: building regulations. Any new build or work on an existing building must comply with current standards. Your architect will include specific material and building instructions on the plans. So, at the design stage, always use an architect listed with the Architects Registration Board. Communicate clearly what you're trying to achieve. Design plans are the place to start thinking about building regulations. And finally, if you want, your architect can project manage the whole job for you. One of the biggest issues facing any self-builder is the budget. Costs need to be managed during the project. And presumably an architect can help manage a budget right from the start.
Yes, for the people who come to the exhibition, the first thing I talk about is money. Can you afford it? And it's a bit glib, but I tend to say to people that whatever you think it's going to cost you, double it, and you'll probably be about right. And it's a bit facetious, but it's not far off that sometimes, because people come with unrealistic expectations. And if you tune people's expectations to get them right at the beginning, then there are no nasty shocks later on. People understand what they can afford and what they can get for their money.
What about the materials that the self-build is about to use? How important are they, brick against timber, for instance?
Well, it's quite an interesting question, and you'll find a lot of differing views, which is best, timber frame, masonry construction, and I'm very firmly of the opinion, I've designed in both, and I would say I would start with the requirements of the client and then use those as a basis to decide which is better, because frankly neither is better. They both have benefits and disadvantages, and a good illustration of that is to do with the way buildings are heated. Masonry, again, it's a bit of a heat sink. It stores up heat energy. So if you live in your house all the day and you're there a whole day, the heat will be stored in the walls and it will stop your boiler from coming on and off, because it evens out the temperature. If, on the other hand, you come and go, you work you're only in the house in the evenings and weekends, then it takes a long time to heat a masonry building up and a long time for it to cool down. So you might want to consider timber frame, which has less thermal mass and heats up and cools down quickly.